Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Donald Trump's, I want to say latest outrage, but it's almost of a new piece, really revolting piece of sort of racial baiting and nasty MAGA politics in his discussions with black journalists yesterday. Let's just go to the videotape, as they say. Here's what he said. They're talking about Kamala Harris, knowing her, and he said, she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person. He said of Ms. Harris, whose mother was Indian American, whose father is black, and who's always identified as a black woman. Where to begin with this, disgusting guy who you just should never be invited to the dining table of America, right? This is someone whose views are so, they're unpardonably nasty and, of course, false. So let's just start there. Total BS. The notion of her sort of shifting identity is a complete lie. Kamala Harris, who is half Indian, has been a strong, self-identified black person not her career, college. She joins the dominant black sorority, and she has, as she's maneuvered her way within California, and I'm not suggesting it's somehow like her political calculation, but rather her genuine identity chosen early. She certainly identifies as black and always has. So let's start with the fact that it's a lie. Okay, that's the least of it. Let's go now. He says it and deploys it at a meeting of black journalists. Now it's obviously designed to be an absolute stink bomb. What more, insulting thing could you say to people who are there, whose premise has to do with there being a certain, important aspect of blackness to their work, to their vantage point, and the like. And so his very comment questions that and makes it seem like it's something you just, put some makeup on backstage. So it's a very, very in-your-face kind of nasty comment. It's of a piece. I don't know, anyone who saw the tape might have seen around this, he just leans over and grabs the water bottle of the two journalists. He is really revoltingly disrespectful in the a manner of the sort of tobacco chewing Southerner in the 60s, just employing rank racial discrimination. But it's even worse, I think, because it actually feeds into a campaign theme or premise, and he's talking to people outside the room. He's talking to the MAGA faithful in doing this. He's not trying to somehow ingratiate himself with black journalists or a broader black audience. In fact, he's booed there and otherwise very politely received, but then obviously giving disgust. But he is going to the heart of the grievance of the MAGA faithful, which is, the so-called replacement project. But again, even worse. So remember, so many of his voters are distressed, animated by, maybe understandable, but really bitter feelings that liberal elites are replacing them and telling them what to do, and even more, that the government exists to dole out preferences to racial minorities, and now they would lump in, different kinds of non-conforming people as opposed to the supposed, traditional white Midwestern folks that they are. And that's the very gas-a-hole that their grievance runs on. And notice how pernicious this charge is there. He has said before, this is the flailing they've done coming out of the box to try to insult her. She's a DEI hire. So that goes down the middle with this concept of you're being replaced by someone just based on the color of their skin. That also is, what a joke. We're talking about a district attorney become an AG, become a U.S. senator, become a vice president. What could be more of a resume for someone who wants to be president? Certainly blows J.D. Vance, for example, out of the water. But the final point is this. It's the suggestion. This is, I think, really the nub of the deep insult of a flaming asshole. All of a sudden, she made a turn and she became a black person. So it's both insulting her sincerity and bona fides to her core about who she is, but it's suggesting to the MAGA faithful, not only are these elites replacing you and taking over your jobs and your places in society, they're not even real. They're just doing it. She is enough to pass as a black person. And so even though she isn't, she's grabbing onto this preference. So there's nothing to be done about it. So she's an inauthentic black person taking on the guise of a black person and therefore completely robbing you and your sons and your daughters of your rightful places in society. So not only, it's just the whole cocktail of grievance here is that you're being replaced and by liberal elites for whom it's just this convenient, as if you just push a button and change the color of your skin in order to exploit and take away from other folks, even when you wouldn't deserve it by their own terms of the liberal elite. So that to me is the ultimate insult. It's the ultimate insult to Harris to think she's just a complete flighty person who, I know I'll be black today because it's politically convenient, but even more to stick in the craw of the MAGA faithful who in this way of looking at it are being replaced not even by authentic, whatever the hell that would mean, African Americans, but by people who exploit the rules set by the liberal elite to disadvantage the MAGA faithful and the like. So the combination of sort of toxicity and flat out nastiness of the comment here puts it in really the Trump Hall of Fame for all-time offensive insults and attacks, and that's very impressive in a sense territory, because when his greatest hits are truly foul, and this one is truly foul for a whole welter of reasons. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.